Hey, we're starting.
Hey, we are.
I was waiting for you, Slim. Where were you? Hello, everyone. Sorry, I put my trust in someone to do the intro, and Slim let me down. But it's okay. We're here. We're starting now. We got Ingrid, all done standard expert, Andy versus thalane. I guess you know that. Man, I'm seeing a lot of robots already. This is exactly what I was expecting. Alright. Let us know if it's still bad, chat. Sorry, guys. Discord being dumb. Good timing and all that.
Yes, let us know if we're sounding okay and everything. And welcome to Game 2 of the Fall Link to the Past 2018 tournament. I guess 2019 winner as well. We're in Game 2 of the finals between Andy and thalane. Andy has one game up on thalane right now, but thalane's going to try to bring it back. This is a best-of-5 series after all, and we're going to go see what happens in this game.
Yeah, now we're looking at an all-dungeon seed, of course, so we have to complete every single dungeon in the game. That's including all the pendants, as well as, Agah Tower, and of course GT. Nice little fire rod there in C-shaped hut. We already did see that all of our unique dungeons are in the Dark World, with Green Pendant Pod, Pendant Swamp, Pendant Thieves Town, and then both our Pyramid Fairy Crystals are at Ice Palace and Misery Mire. So that's it's pretty convenient. Just get all the info right out the gate, right as soon as you join this inverted seed.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to do that Light World map check and save those crucial seconds to work on execution and stuff.
So I believe both players did kind of a similar start, or at least I saw on Andy's side. You're trying to get bombs as soon as you can to go into Hype Cave because, it's 5 items in there. And going for like tree poles and whatnot to try and get bombs. But we have seen at least a mushroom and that fire rod and C-shaped hut. So, of course, this is a sword seed. So we're not going to be able to get to Mothiel without a sword. But we could still get to the back there and check at least that one chest.
Yeah, that's true. That is still very much in logic at this point. And inverted mode, I think, is very interesting to watch just because, when you start at Light World, you obviously have a lot of options. You have Kakariko, you have Southern Shore, and everything. But all the Dark World kind of locations you can kind of get to are very, very scattered. So it's really cool to just see how people route this and how they kind of do their own unique starts for inverted mode, as we do see the flippers here in Thieves Town for Andy.
All right, and that does confirm that mushroom that Andy got was in Hype Cave, so he has been there already. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. With this mode, of course, you're generally going to see early Skull, early Thieves. You might even see depending on what weapons, if any, that you get, an early blind fight with like 3-4 hearts. It's always a possibility, especially in expert mode where there's a minimal amount of health in the game. In fact, for the most part, you can only get at most on paper 9 hearts, but I think really you can only get 8. I think there's a few heart pieces that are missing. Nice glove here in Thieves Town as well. That's going to allow us to do nothing.
Well, I mean, we can get up maybe to the...
up to Death... Well, no, you need to find that lamp for Death Mountain, but that would allow for a sequence break up Death Mountain.
Yeah, and I think these 2 runners can definitely do that. And from the lane side, actually seeing the arrow game Another thing you'll probably see pretty early in Inverted as well, because you need rupees for a lot of things in Dark World. You got Pod, you got the Village of Outcasts money chests and stuff. So you may want to kind of grab some rupees here. And if you
yeah, it's 80 rupees for the digging game, 30 rupees for the chess game in Village of Outcasts, and 110 rupees for Kiki to open up Palace of Darkness. So good to get as much money as you can. Of course, there's a good chance you'll dig up a couple big 20s unless you get a heart piece right on that third dig. Some bombs and some cash require a big red bomb. Well, that is a very, very dead Pyramid Fairy check. So that's good to get that out of the way soon.
Yeah, that's actually, I sometimes I honestly prefer getting hints like that from the hints in this version of the randomizer, because you can kind of just check off interesting, but still, that's like one less thing you have to think about. It's like, okay, I don't have to visit the Pyramid Fairy, so
I'm also sure both these players have like a notepad or something that they're writing these down. I know from experience, just playing multiple seeds in preparation for a tourney race, it's really easy to get your hints mixed up between seeds, so I make sure to write them down now. Like,
yeah,
was it this seed that purple chest was dead, or was that the last seed? I don't remember. So this is really interesting. I feel like either at this point there's got to be, I don't know what they got in Skull Woods, if there's something actually in the Fire Rod locked section. Otherwise, we're probably going to see, I guess, Lamp, maybe? Oh, they have flippers, so they can get over to Pod. Never mind. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's true.
So they can get over to... Well, there's going to be some on Catfish now. Because they could swim over to check Catfish, or check the Pyramid, or they can walk all the way over to Palace of Darkness.
And we do have that Fire Rod and flippers. There could be potentially something in Ice Palace, too, for all we know.
Oh my god. You're right. That's a very good point. Of course, there's some minor changes to the overworld in inverted mode. So the walls to get into Ice Palace are open up, so you can actually get right up in there in the Dark World. And of course, you need a fire source to get past the first Freezor room. Some tough decisions going on. Now, of course, Andy is going to go ahead and bring Blind up to the boss room so that he doesn't have to go all the way back down and get her again. He has no way of actually killing her, so he's just going to turn her in and save and quit.
Yeah, unfortunately, Blind is immune to the Fire Rod, so that will not actually help us there. So we have to kind of step away, save that for later, but it'll be a very quick return when we get something to destroy him with. Yeah,
the only things you can use are either of the canes, the hammer, or swords. I believe that's it. That bunny music. It never gets old.
Yeah, that's a nice thing. You kind of get to hear that bunny music a bit longer, too, which is really nice.
Oh, well, there is that cane sitting up on bumper. Could you imagine if there's, like, a cape on like, the pyramid or something, or in the back of Skullwoods to go get Berna to beat Blind?
It would not surprise me.
I'm not 100% sure, because I'm really bad at keeping track of the minor details if we've seen all 4 items in Thieves Town already. I do recall flippers and bombs. And a glove. So there might be a 4th item, either in the big chest or on Blind.
Yeah, I have to admit I wasn't entirely clear on what's left in Thieves Town either, but yeah, well, we might take a look at Thalane, see what he finds in here. I'll try to keep an eye out on that. But yeah, for kind of saving Skull Woods for a little bit later, like this will kind of give Andy a chance to check that last chest in the back in Mothula's area. So, we could find out what's there. And, if that's progression, that could give him a potential bit of an advantage this early on, just because who knows when Thalane's going to be going back to that location.
Now, interesting play from Thalane. He farms some bombs, and he's going to go ahead and take his flippers to head over to East Dark World. So if there does end up being something like in the big chest at Thieves Town, that could go into Thalane's favor. But we are going to see the Ice Palace play coming up. Oh, baby.
Yes, we are. We're going to see what's inside here.
I've seen Moon Pearl in here before in Inverted. It's great. Some arrows and Kakariko Well. Thanks, game.
Unfortunately, the other 4 items we have in there are kind of unknown, so that didn't help us too much.
I don't remember if Thalane actually went all the way to the back and checked the vanilla big key chest in Skullwoods or not. We were kind of getting stuff set up, so I might have missed it. But we'll be seeing it on Andy's side. We got there you go. There's the Moon Pearl first chest Ice Palace. Funny thing is that's still not enough to get us to the light world. We're still looking for a hammer or another glove.
Yeah, not quite, but it is something. Like, we know that we have to go into Ice Palace at some point to get to the light world, so... And who knows where that hammer's going to end up, so definitely a good find for the Thalane.
And the other interesting... Like, I'm not 100% sure how logically this dungeon is designed, depending on what you find. Because, like, you know, no hook shot, no small key. So, I mean, logically, the next chest you would check would be the double freezer room. So that could easily be a hammer as well. Unique item in Palace of Darkness. That is something worth taking note of. That could be our Dark World axis. That could be our hammer or our Titan's mitts.
Yeah, that's true. We can get to pod right now with those flippers. So yeah, that would be definitely a good check to make.
Nice little juke there to dodge the Ropas. And Andy is going to go ahead and check this other chest here. I believe there was only one item found thus far in Skullwoods, so this very well could be... You know, it'd be funny if it was a sword and you could just go ahead and finish Skullwoods right here, right now. That'd be nice.
That would be very, very convenient.
And we've got the hammer! There it is! Wow. So he still, of course, needs to go get that Moon Pearl, but the crazy thing is he's going to be able to check a few more things here in Ice Palace if he wants to. Like this whole right side section.
Yeah, that is correct. But yeah, that Fire Rod paying off dividends, holding both items we were still looking for that Dark World. Got the Moon Pearl on the Ice Palace and the hammer in Skullwoods. So interesting how one item can honestly be the key in two different ways.
Yep. And it's unfortunate for Thalane that he went to Skullwoods prior to going to the Village of Outcast area, missing that Fire Rod. So he might put off going back there until he's run out of stuff to do, especially getting that Palace of Darkness unique item hint. That might send him over there next.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
It's also nice because Andy actually has like a real weapon that he can use. He can go kill blind and check the Thieves Town big chest.
That's true, yeah.
Which he's not going to do, unless he absolutely has to. Nobody's checking that. Well, Thalane will check it. Alright, what is our second chest? It is a... Dude, Invert is so wild, man.
It is.
Will Andy continue? Of course he will.
Yeah.
You know, if these runners are feeling... Well, not Thalane, but if Andy's feeling saucy enough, he might go for that cold stare fight with that fighter sword. I doubt it, but could you imagine?
I don't know. I you know, from watching Andy play, I can definitely see him doing it. He's very, very confident when it comes to this game. So, you know, he's done fights in extreme conditions before. I would not be surprised to see him try it again.
Yeah, that is interesting with this sword. It might actually send Thalane immediately back to finish Skullwoods. Ooh, that is a really tough bit of damage to take there from that Stalfos Knight. They do 2 hearts of damage on Green Mail. And, okay. Oh no, Thalane. He's gonna need more health. He can't get this. That's unfortunate. He's not even gonna be able to get it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much damage the berries do if they do a full heart. He might have been able to like damage boost off the berry to skip taking a full heart of damage from the spikes, but I'm not 100% sure. I know red berries do a full heart. I don't know if blueberries do.
He'd have to like wait for that berry to kind of come to that like other side though to take that damage hit, and you could be waiting a long time for that. So.
All right.
But
it does look like
the pod area.
He's going to follow that Ice Palace hint that there is a unique item in Palace of Darkness. But who knows? It could be something really useful, or something, be another sword. We don't know. Could be the lamp. Could be not reachable. It could be on Helmusar King. There's some possibilities coming up.
Yeah, there could definitely be something good in here for sure.
That Ropa just about bopped Thalane in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you get hit while taking Kiki to the front of pod, he'll run away and make you pay him another $10. Just fair, I guess.
I mean, I guess you promised to be his escort, and if you're taking damage, he might get a little scared. Like, maybe.
This guy's not gonna. I don't trust this guy. I'm out.
Yeah. Okay, so what do we find first in palette? We find the boots. That was the boots hint.
Wow, that caught me by surprise. Nice boots hint. Well, that is gonna allow Thalane to speed up, the majority of the rest of this run for him. And from the looks like this looked like he's going to be heading either right to Village of Outcasts, or right to Thieves Town, or... Oh, wow, there's the powder. Dude, what is inverted mode, man? There's just so many... I mean, I guess you got to kind of, fit everything in as much as you can get, in the early part of the game. But,
yeah, definitely.
So that's 3 items in Ice Palace. Moon Pearl, Sword, and Powder. That's all 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as we know, that was an item that Thalane could not have gotten because it was blocked behind the hammer, so we'll not be getting that powder for a bit, and that could potentially be something when we get to the light world. It could be something on the magic bat.
Mm-hmm. That's very possible. Well, this is interesting. So Thalane is going to go ahead and finish off Thieves Town. He's only seen, 2 items in here, so it makes sense to continue going in here as opposed to the 1 item in Skullwoods, and who knows, maybe he feels a little bit more confident in his blind abilities than his Mothula abilities, given his 4 hearts and his weaponry. So
yeah, I mean, these runners definitely very well experienced with Mothula, but even then, just kind of doing that fight with only 4 hearts in this case can be pretty stressful. 2 hits from Mothula itself will definitely kill you, and you got all those spikes rolling around that'll do 1 heart of damage. You'll get low on health very quickly.
Yeah, Mothula sucks, no matter what. It's such a bad fight. It almost, to me, it looks like Andy is going to go and take out Cold Stare to the best of his abilities. If he pulls this off, then I wouldn't even be surprised, though, because he's pretty good in this video game. He's having a heck of a time with these penguins here, though. Thankfully, they put some nice placed spikes, so you can just knock them into the spikes for an insta-kill. It's great.
Yeah, great attention to detail from the developers of this game.
But don't hit Mothula into spikes, because it won't do damage,
Yeah, that was a bit of an oversight, but yeah.
Great design. For anyone just... well, hold on, before I go into detail about what we found so far in this seed, let's see this Cold Stare fight. I'm really intrigued. It's going to be a lot of work. He's not going to have any extra magic. Probably going to be seeing a lot of hammer strats.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to see him pull it off, because it'd be wild. He is also... Of course, he can't take a single hit from a Cold Stare, because they do 4 hearts of damage on Green Mail.
Unfortunately, Thalane taking a death in Thieves Town.
Oh, man, he got... Yeah, I just watched the restream. He got sniped by the red Zizak down below. This Cold Stare fight is pretty crazy. The thing is that's scary about it is that you want to go for sword spins sometime because, it gives you room to breathe. It gives you a little bit more range than the hammer. And the hammer hitbox coming out is so slow. But, you always got to be aware of those stupid ice blocks falling down that you don't want to get caught by. But that is going to do. That is Cold Stare down for Andy, and he is going to grab his first crystal. Wow. Nice fight.
Yeah, very well done. He was very patient with it. He didn't try to get too greedy or aggressive with his attacks. And just kept moving. He was always paying attention to where the Cold Stare puffs were going to be, paying attention where the icicles were dropping. Just very, very well executed.
I think that's, one of the fun parts about playing a harder difficulty, a more low percent difficulty, is you're going to see more of like the pause strats, the pause buffers, some slowed down play, real patience. And because I think it's extremely valuable when you're in these high stakes situations where one hit and you're dead and you lose tons of time. Really good fight.
One hit and then you're doing Ice Palace all the way from the beginning again. So yeah, it's not something you want to happen.
Well, one hit and you're leaving because you're out of magic as
well.
Oh,
that's true too. Yeah, very true.
Now, here's the interesting thing. This seems like the opposite whenever it comes to watching Andy race is unless Andy just stumbles upon the bow right away, it might be a while before he goes to Palace of Darkness and gets those boots in the first chest.
Yeah, that's true, because, with that sword that he got, he's looking at his map and he's thinking, well, okay, I can finish up Thieves, I can finish up Skullwoods, so you may want to go for those then.
Oh no, Thalane, gotta be a little careful down to a heart. I want to see... I was gonna say I want to see those pause buffers. That's unfortunate. 2 deaths right away in Thieves Town. I would leave too. I'm pretty sure... There's still one more item in there, I think. But, that fight is significantly harder going back after you failed it once.
Yeah, that one script that you get when you first deliver Blind to the room, you no longer have on subsequent visits, so, anything can happen in those fights, so you gotta be a lot more careful.
Well, almost 22 minutes in, and we are now finally getting to visit Kakariko. Of course, we got to get those, I believe it was either some cash or 10 arrows that are in Kakariko Well. Can't forget those, very important.
Yeah, we're gonna need those arrows. We still have to. We are kind of capped on arrows right now for Andy, but he's still gonna need to pick up those arrows.
Mm-hmm. And just a shield, so that powder that Thalane missed in the right side hammerlock section of Ice Palace is not gonna hurt him at all, as shields are basically. You could block some spears with that shield. I think that's about it. Thalane about to get his hammer and will more than likely take a Death Warp and then take out or attempt this Mothula fight, which once again is pretty tricky with 4 hearts. Of course, all the spikes in the fight do a heart of damage, and anything involving Mothula itself does 2 hearts. So he can take, at best, a couple spikes or 1 hit from Moth without dying, so...
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Meanwhile, Andy, looking through Kakariko, still a lot of chests we have, a lot of items we can find. Unfortunately, still finding rupees and all those other kind of junk items that you see in a lot of cases. But
yeah,
there could be something here I'm willing to bet.
A lot of bloopies in expert mode, making me think it's Zooter. Okay. But yeah, I really want to see Thalane knock out Mothula in one shot, because I don't want to see him. I hope, you got to feel for him that after taking 2 deaths in Thieves Town, that he's probably feeling a little tilted, a little upset, which is unfortunate this early. But he's bringing out the hammer, so as long as Moth stays down, I prefer Moth in the bottom right for hammer strats on Mothula, and he is in the top left, which is literally the worst spot. And a nice Bamos pickup from Andy. That's would have been nice for Cold Stare, but a little too late for that. Cold Stare was just fine.
He also picked up the lamp inside the well as well, so puts those dark rooms in logic. Thalane being very patient, doing exactly what he needs to do in this fight.
Oh, and a hook shot in Blind's Hut. That's a lot of Death Mountain access right there, if I've ever seen any.
Yes, definitely.
And the book! Which, of course, book is a required item especially in inverted mode, because and the mirror. Oh my gosh, Kakariko, calm down. Oh, jeez.
Ooh.
Dude, Moth went on a tear. He covered so much ground in such a little bit of time. But he does take out Mothula and gets his first crystal. Nice.
Kind of looked like a bullet hell game for a minute there, but he made it through.
That was scary. Yeah, as I was saying, book is required 100% in inverted all dungeons. just to get inside Desert Palace because, of course, everything's flipped upside down, so you can't like mirror into desert or anything. You can, of course, go to desert and mirror into mire, which is a neato thing to do.
Yeah, I always say that that's kind of the counter to Turtle Rock being so open, is they had to kind of make another dungeon completely closed off because Turtle Rock is treated such differently in inverted mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Turtle Rock is really weird. The whole mirroring into Laser Bridge is a wild thing. Nice Master Sword here in the Lost Woods. Thalane is going to be immediately picking that up for sure. You're going to be wishing you had that for Bothula. Oh, nice. All right. I see what Andy's doing. I was like, what's he going back in here? I heard the music chime up again. I'm like, wait a minute, this is not right. But he did just get that mirror, and he remembered, wait, I can mirror in front of the back of Skull Woods and beat up Mothula. And he has the book, so he can check the pedestal.
Exactly.
Wow. What a crazy route. Nah, this is exciting. Finally get to see what's on the pedestal at 26 minutes in. It's pretty important.
Or at least after he finishes Skull Woods, anyway.
I like this, just going gung-ho with that fire rod and taking out all the Gibdos. They do so much damage. I mean, they do 2 hearts of damage with Green Mail, but when you only have 4 hearts, that's 50% damage. That's a lot of damage.
Yes, it is. It's a lot of damage, and they can be pretty erratic and tough to deal with sometimes. So
just 10 arrows on Lumberjack, so of course we still need to beat Aga Tower anyway, but it's not going to be for an item. It is interesting if you get seeds with a required item on Lumberjack and an all dungeon seed. You're like, oh, well, I mean, I guess I'll go do Aga now then, because I can.
Yeah, the dream is always to be able to save that for the very last, just so he's like, okay, well, I'm on the pyramid, I'm right before Ganon, let me just complete this tower really quick and then go right back to the top. But yeah, no, there are those seeds where, even if you're just kind of looking for something to do or to plan your next route, it doesn't necessarily hurt to complete Aga whenever you kind of are in the area.
It's also nice because, of course, you get a full health and magic refill after completing Aga Tower. So having that going into the Ganon fight, as opposed to, coming right from Aga 2 and going straight to Ganon, could be a difference maker in a race.
Yeah, it really can, definitely.
Yeah, that was a really good Mothula fight from Andy. That Master Sword really coming to the sword beams, actually. What ended up was the final strike on Moth. And looks like Thalane is going to go into the back of Escape. There are 3 items here, as well as 1 in the Sanctuary itself. And he'll just go in here. If he finds a small key, he might go to the middle chest and then Death Warp out. Otherwise, he'll continue on through Sanctuary and see what that last item is.
We did pick up the Ether Medallion in here, so that is something that could be our Misery Mire access, and if we have to go through the front of Turtle Rock, it could be that medallion as well.
And Andy is going to now go ahead and head right back in and finish Thieves Town, which is going to be significantly easier because he has that Master Sword and can utilize those sword beams. I feel like sword beams, if you're doing a refight or like doing the second attempt at blind, makes that fight significantly easier than trying to run the scripted fight with the Master Sword and having sword beams, because sometimes the sword beams will beat out your sword and then you won't get the normal knockback, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, this is wrong, this feels bad, where am I? And then all of a sudden you're taking a ton of damage.
And again, as you'll probably see here, it just kind of allows you to keep your distance away from like all the stuff going on the top of the screen, so you can just kind of relax a little bit and be more patient and try to keep those hearts.
The fight is kind of wacky with Master Sword for this instance, or if you have like Samaria blind, it's wacky as well. But really good fight, nice and clean, no damage taken. So.
And we see we get more bombs from Thieves Town, so that's all the items in Thieves Town. There was an item on blind, so.
So that's going to work out for both players, never having to go back and check that big chest. So that's good. Andy taking a 3-1 lead for completed dungeons. Of course, Thalane, when he went into Ice Palace, which is where our Moon Pearl was, and our sword was, did not have the hammer from the Back of Skull Woods. So he was not able to complete that dungeon. Which it's going to work out for him better, because now when he eventually goes back to finish it, he'll have Bastard Sword and Bombos, which he just picked up. So the fight will be significantly easier. And I say that it's expert mode, so it's still a really hard fight, but it'll be harder or less hard. That's I think that's a better way than saying significantly easier.
Yes.
I'm only speaking that way because I've played. Gosh, I had never played expert mode until this tournament, and like, I think how many? Gosh, I think I've done like at least 6 or 7 expert mode races. And it's actually kind of grown on me. Expert mode is fun. It's fun. I enjoy it.
I bet it makes a lot of the kind of the other earlier difficulties seem like almost too easy now after you've dealt with this.
Normal mode is so boring. It's so boring, dude. I can't even play it anymore. But yeah, I like this decision by Andy using that mirror to grab the blacksmith, which of course is in logic. The only thing that mitts are ever required for, like 100% of the time, is for King's Tomb. There are ways to get around its requirement as well.
Yeah. Normally you'll see it for that, or in some cases you may need the mitts to get into your light world access as well. But yeah, the mitts are not really going to be required in a lot of these instances, so there's a chance you probably won't even find them in the actual seed.
I mean, we're probably going to see mitts in GT, and then let's see, what's our pen of dungeons? Yeah, never mind. These pen of dungeons are pretty nice. Yeah, like we already could do all of Swamp, and we're just a bow away from Pod, and bow can't be in GT because Eastern is a crystal. So.
Now, while Andy does kind of have that dungeon lead, like, Thalane did get the benefit of checking Pod, and he does have those boots, so he will be kind of going a bit faster than Andy, kind of in these overworld checks. Mm-hmm. So could gain a potential lot of time back just with those. I mean, Swamp Palace is very, very slow without the boots.
I think right now for Thalane, he needs Desert to have a big key on the torch. Because that will make this trip for Andy to be kind of a waste going all the way over here. I'm curious to see if Andy's going to follow up by just doing Swamp right away. He does have everything he needs to complete that dungeon. I know generally players would prefer to wait to do Swamp until they can somehow find like the Swamp hint or something to avoid left side.
Mm-hmm.
Just a Bloopy and Agahnim cave. We've already seen what's at Cave 45. Now, I thought it was interesting that Thalane skipped the heart piece in Peg Cave, because unlike normal modes, heart pieces are huge in expert mode. Like, you want as many hearts, because like most expert seeds, you'll finish this, like you'll get your 6th heart in GT, in my opinion, unless you full clear the game, obviously. So skipping even one heart piece could mean the difference between life and death for some of these runners. Of course, these guys are high caliber runners. They can probably do the majority of this stuff with 5 hearts. But in a tourney race, man, I'd lose a couple seconds just to get another heart piece in expert mode.
Yeah, it really speaks miles for just the confidence these runners have that they can make a decision like that, and because maybe maybe he has finished a seed with only 5 hearts before, so he's like, okay, well, I can do this. I can save a few seconds, and I am up against Andy of all people, so could be thinking that way.
Could be. It'd be interesting to hear his thoughts. I'm going to ask him about that hurt piece. I'll do it. Okay. We did see Bombos was the required medallion for Misery Mire, so that is now available. And of course, with Hookshot or Boots, you can go inside, but without Canis Maria, not really that. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a very good play when you have like all of Swamp and all of Death Mountain still available. But you never know. That could just have Samaria in there. possible.
Yeah, I mean, Randomizer has that quirk of if it can put an item somewhere in logic, it can be at that place in logic, so you gotta always keep that stuff in mind.
Okay. So potentially boots locked. At least right side is boots locked. Now the big key could just be chilling in this key right here, and Andy would be able to finish this dungeon without being able to check right side if there's an item over there. Let's find out. Okay, well that is really good for Thalane for now. I don't think, even if, since Andy has to come back later, if he waits and comes back with like Samaria and he could knock out both Desert and Mire at the same time, it won't be that huge of a loss. But if there ends up being something required here, like some progression or something, like a bow or whatever, this could be huge for Thalane.
Yeah, we could find Samaria in here in Desert, and then Thalane can just complete both.
That's true. Looks like we are going to see the Death Mountain play by Andy. I mean, he can do everything up here. He has the hook shot. To get to the light world up here, you either need to have, or to get to East Death Mountain in the light world, you either need to have hook shot or you need to have the mitts. Hook shot plus Moon Pearl or mitts plus Moon Pearl. So here's the thing though, that's a lot of overworld checks without the boots.
That's true.
Yes.
And yeah, that is also definitely a good thing about the mitts, having them for kind of these Death Mountain checks, because if you want to get to, like, I guess, the front of Turtle Rock, for example, with the mitts, you can just take that portal, like, right there on the top. But if not, you kind of have to go this weird loop around where you take the portal that's on the left side of Death Mountain. And you have to go all the way around the loop, hook shot across the bridge, and do all that stuff. With the mitts, you can just kind of open that one portal. It's like, okay, I'm here. What do I need?
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, Death Mountain is probably one of the worst aspects of Inverted. It's just really, really messy and slow. I mean, for instance, having to walk the old man all the way down every time.
Yeah.
Like, unless you find the flute. It's just And then East Death Mountain is just a mess as well, with Spiral Cave and Mimic Cave and all that mess.
Definitely.
Not a big fan of that, but we did see that the two items in Desert Palace were just a big 20 and a piece of heart. So Andy not missing out on any huge progression.
He does jump in the Dark Void there, though.
Oh, he's got to be careful. Most of these enemies will do a full heart of damage, and the red ones, the red Tektites, will do 2 hearts, so he's got to be a little careful. He's going to get a couple hearts down here, so he'll be fine.
Yeah. Meanwhile, getting ready to fight the Lanolos fight on Thalane's end. Let's see how he handles this with the Fire Rod. Should be a very quick fight.
Yeah, as long as Lamos give him a good pattern, that's looking like a pretty good pattern if I've seen one.
Yeah, very, very well done.
Fight is so nice when you have Fire Rod. Even if you have like just Ice Rod, you're like, hey, yeah, it works just fine. But yeah, Flane will get his second dungeon completed and his second crystal. And curious to see where he runs off to next. He could go do... he could go do Swamp. But nobody wants to do Swamp. Nobody likes Swamp.
We do find our last medallion, though, on Andy's end, the Quake Medallion in Paradox Cave. So, as far as medallions, obviously the runners have to get their third medallion, since, Thalane has Ether and Andy has Quake, but they don't have the other one. But, we know where they are, so we know when they're going to get them.
Andy, a little bit... unfortunately, missed that bomb jump there. I guess he's too used to just hovering it.
Yeah.
That one could be a little tricky, trying to line that up. And just a big 20 on the Floating Island. Floating Island, another one of those changes made in Inverted so that you can access it. Basically, all the mirror locked locations in the normal game have been kind of just outright made available, because otherwise they'd be impossible to get to.
Definitely. And yeah, like you said, this looks like to be the swamp play for Thalane, finding the silvers, and damn.
Silvers are nice. Andy's not going to miss those, so both players will be finishing this game with the silvers. And of course, this is expert mode. The silvers will not be able to be used until the Ganon fight itself.
Yeah, which does make the Vitreous fight a little more difficult because of that, but, you know, these runners can handle that no problem.
Man, so many heart piece hints. These are the worst hints. The only good hint we've gotten so far was the unique item in pod and the Pyramid Fairy hint. Everything else has been use the heart requires a hammer. The requires a hammer, in my opinion, is the worst hint you could possibly get, I think.
Yeah,
maybe that or requires a bomb. Like those two, I'm like, those could be so many things.
Yeah, and especially when you play like even like Key Sandy, for example, like that could include Ganon's tower into the mix as well. So many things blocked by that hammer.
I think some cash in the dark. All right, well that could be a few places. Not really. I mean, that could be Hyrule Castle in general, and then back, parts of pod, back of pod. Ooh, careful there, Andy. Don't want to get bumped in the hole. You can get bumped that way. That's fine. All right, really easy Moldorn 2 or Moldorn 1 coming up. Either 3 Master Sword spins or 3 hammers will take him down. Just don't poke him or slash him and enrage him. Ooh, that was a little dicey. It's like his sword was on the left side of his body and Moldorn was on his right side, so he easily could have like moved over a tiny bit and just pinged him into the middle hole. That's the last hole you want to fall down in this game.
Yeah, that's 2 floors you're falling down if that happens. But he gets him down, and looks like he's going to grab just a small key.
Did he get both items in here? I'm really bad at paying attention to like item counts when I'm not playing the game. When I'm just watching, I'm like, oh, this is fun. When I'm playing the game, I'm like, all right, that's 2 items. I'm done.
Yeah. He is leaving, so he may have gotten both items. I don't see him leaving behind anything at this stage of the game.
I don't know. Hera Basement kind of stinks. All right, well, are we going to see Spiral, or he's going to mirror and check out Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny? That's what it's looking like. And Thalane is going straight to the back, skipping left side swamp for the time being. We've gotten, I think, at least 2 items in here thus far. Here's a big key. Some more money. And he is going to just avoid going back and checking the big chest. He might go back in and do big chest and then left side. We'll see. There's the bow!
Ooh, hello.
Oh, man. All right, this route working out quite well for the lane. So that bow is going to allow him to go finish all of Pod and all of Eastern. And that's going to be a crystal and a green pendant. So I feel like I'd comfortably say that this routing is going to help Thalane make up for his earlier mistakes with the deaths in Thieves Town.
Yeah, I'd agree with that for sure.
Shovel and Hookshot Cave. Okay, here's a fetch quest. I'm a huge fan of the sword spins, the Master Sword spins on Argus. Double hook sword spin. Oh, so good. I'm just enjoying this fight. All right, and then you can finish off with a couple fire rod shots and a Master Sword spin. 1 more to go, while Andy is heading into Laser Bridge. Hey, now Laser Bridge is in logic.
And more importantly, we can get that Cane of Burna now.
Wait, how does that work then? Wait.
Oh.
Yeah, how does that work? You need the cape to get the Burna.
Whoops.
But Mirror Shield isn't in expert mode because the highest shield you can get is the fighter shield.
Oh wait,
Dude, not.
would that
No,
wouldn't.
Because Bumper Cave is in the light world.
Right.
You still need the cape to get through Bumper Cave. That has
right. Yeah.
But
yeah.
you need the mirror as well to mirror to get the. Devs, you got some explaining to do. I mean, if I don't know, I got nothing. That's a new one for me. I mean, it's not like it's not like it matters to these runners because they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, heck, I mean, he got the item easily. Just
To be honest, you know, just if you have boots, put laser bridge in logic because I mean, dashing by the lasers, it's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. Do a nice red boomerang here in Ice Rock Cave. And let's see if anything decides to show up here in T-Rock. T-Rock is a very interesting dungeon because of its new layout in inverted mode, and I've seen a few wild things show up in this dungeon, like a Cane of Samaria or a Flippers. And a lot of times it does require you to, like, mirror. Mirror could even just be required to beat the dungeon if, like, the big key is on Laser Bridge or something like that.
Right. Ooh.
Yeah, that hurts. That's the downside of using Fire Rod to hit switches because there's a little bit of lag whenever like you hit it and then it flips. Oh no. Oh, that's unfortunate as well. I also wanted to point out on Thalane's end, he set up a water walk, which is one of my favorite tricks to do in this game. But because he has the flippers, when he hit the shallow water, it killed his water walk.
Right.
So then he had to swim the rest of the way up here, which was a unfortunate thing to do. A little bit of unintended time loss there. And it looks like Andy's going to go ahead and bail out on Chain Chomps. So hopefully for his sake, there's nothing required there.
And yeah, I think Thalane is going to be kind of heading over to that Eastern Palace, Palace of Darkness area next. We'll be able to take out both dungeons in one swoop, which is always good when you can do that.
Well, Flute is an interesting item. It's not required, rarely, unless like Mirror is in Mire. Like that's the only time I think Flute is required, or there's like that's your only means of getting up Death Mountain.
Right.
Kind of. I don't know. It's tough. It's still nice for Andy because, you know, without his boots, he'll have a little bit easier time moving around the overworld, so it's still a quality of life improvement, but it's not the progression he was looking for. Yeah, Thalane looking like he's on a good route right now. He's going to go ahead and knock out Eastern, then he can mirror, finish Pod, and then he can go back into the Light World and turn in that green pendant. I don't believe we've seen a hint for that yet, so that could be something useful. And at this point, we are looking for Samaria and Ice Rod. I think that's it.
Yep, those are the only two items remaining that we're kind of looking for at this point.
And I also just noticed we're 48 minutes in. 48 and a half minutes in. We still haven't seen our first bottle. Of course, there are 4 bottles in the game, even in expert mode. The logic behind that is that potions are less effective. So like a magic potion will only heal you a quarter as opposed to the normal full or half in hard mode. And any health potions, red or blue, will only heal you 1 heart.
Yeah.
Which I think that was a good balance, in my opinion. I think before they had it so that potions were just like stupid expensive, but they did the same thing.
I believe that's the case, yeah.
And the other thing about them is potions still work normally in rooms with spikes, like in Mire or Ice Palace or Spike Cave itself. I don't know if they work in Laser Bridge. I would assume so, since...
I want to say they do, yeah.
Yeah, since like Burna has its normal invulnerability frames, and magic reduction is vanilla when using the cape. A bottle is fire locked in Mire.
There you go, yeah.
That's all I wanted to know. All right. Well, that's good. That is one of the 2 items in Mire. That's huge information for Thalane. The funny thing, though, is if the second item ends up being that Cane of Samaria. Well, unfortunately for Andy, this is looking like either he's about to do Eastern and Pod, or he might just go check Sahasrara and then Mirror and do Pod. He knows there's a unique item in Pod, so he might go there first.
And that will give him his boots too. So,
of course, he needs to go to Pendant Swamp to get his bow. So he's going to be losing a bit of time here in this dungeon, in these couple dungeons. But I mean, that's the interesting thing. Even in all dungeons, you know, you still want to try and avoid pendant dungeons a little bit with the prospect of go moding them later. So I can understand Andy's, especially without the boots. I'm sure Andy didn't want to go do Swamp Palace. It's pretty slow.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a mirror bonk right there if I ever seen one.
Gotta find that sweet spot, and he does.
I'm curious why he mirrored there, because now he has to pick up a bomb to walk past his portal. It would have made more sense to just mirror like right in front of Sahasrara's hut, and then just wait out the mirror iframes so that you don't miss getting Kiki. But I mean, we're gonna get more bombs in Pod anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
And Thalane walking into the Armos Knights fight now.
The interesting thing about this is Thalane might get to come back and like just go mode Ice Palace if things work out for him. Andy now picking up his boots. Gosh, I mean, at least 30 minutes of time difference between picking up boots, I'd say.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's definitely been around that time frame for sure.
And it looks like he might... Either he's going to go check Eastern now, or... Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
But on Thalane's end, we're going to be picking off right where Andy left off, and we're going to be seeing the rest of... Going to be seeing the rest of Pod.
Yo, shout outs to my boy Landy. He's a good dude. Yeah, so that is one of the 5 items in Palace of Darkness. Some cash with the chickens. Thanks, game. There are 4 more items in Palace of Darkness. We could potentially see Arcana Samaria in here. We could see our Ice Rod. We could see 4 junk items. It's possible, dude.
You know, of course, we got that hint saying there's a unique item, which we suspect that was for the boots, but it could be alluding to another unique item in here. We don't know.
Oh yeah, and someone in chat did make a very good point. I'm so used to playing Key Sanity, so I don't think about these things anymore, but boots being in the first S of Pod meant Andy couldn't continue in Pod. Mm-hmm. And no potion means no potion glitch to skip to the bow side.
Now, if you went to Misery Mire first and got that, got that bottle, it could be telling a different story here.
And if he would have had at least 1 key, he could have just hovered to the right side. Yeah, we didn't see any items here in Eastern Palace, so it's an unfortunate bit of time loss here going to be for Andy. So his next trip needs to be to Swamp Palace to go get that bow. Of course, the play that Andy's making is a completely sane play.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
You're in the area. You're in the area. You know, may as well check these items. Could end up getting that 1 item you need to clear this out. You really have no idea in Randomizer sometimes.
You know, I'm just happy to see both of our runners moving fast.
Yeah.
I love the boots. Boots they're just a nice quality of life improvement. I'm looking forward to future tournaments when we have like earlier boots or starting boots. Just earlier boots in general is fine. They just make it makes it feel like your one-off out-of-the-way locations don't completely ruin everything when they don't work out.
Like kind of a fast travel seed type of scenario. Yeah, I can see that.
All right, well, nothing over here on the Hammerlock side. We did see that really nice hammer. That was a hammer jump from Thalane, right? Yeah, because why would he
Yes.
mirror that otherwise? And it looks like Andy is going to be making his way down to go into Swamp Palace, where he will be getting his bow. The curious thing is, will he consider doing like left side at all? It's curious at this point, wondering like what's going on in their minds. Like, how do they feel right now? Do they feel behind? I'm sure Andy's feeling not too good, well at this point because of the chain chomp death, the laser death, and then the Eastern Palace having nothing, and the late boots that he could have had because that was pretty much Sphere 2 for him.
Yeah, something like that.
No, it was Sphere 3 then. Fire Rod to Hammer, or no, Flippers were it was Sphere 2.
Mm-hmm. And on the flip side, like, Thalane had those two, had to leave Ice Palace without, finishing it, and then also dying to blind as well, so he could also feel behind too, so you really don't know what they're thinking.
Dude, it must be cool, like, mid-race, to be able to, like, listen in on their thought process.
Yeah.
Hear all the cuss words coming out, There's a really good question in chat. What would be preferred, early boots or early flute? I'd prefer early boots, because early flute I feel like early flute either forces you to check a bunch of one-offs, like Agahnim Cave and Ice Rod Cave, or to isolate those even more so, because you're like, well, I have the flute, I can always go back and check them later. I would much prefer boots, 100%.
Yeah, I think I would probably agree with that as well.
Flute's nice, and sometimes required. Boots are nicer, and also sometimes required, but often not as required.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Thalane juggling these turtles a little bit, having a little bit of trouble getting by, and going to be taking on the Helmstar King. Of course, it is 17 hits with the hammer to knock off his mask, and then either we'll see 8 arrows to the face, or to the jewel, or maybe even some hammer pokes. That's a hammer poke.
Hammer pokes it
That's
is.
A fireball to the face. Thalane down to 1 heart, and Thalane takes an unfortunate death. Oh my gosh, that went so fast.
Yeah.
I felt like he had like 0 iframes, that he got hit again, and then hit a 3rd time. That is a very unfortunate death. That's going to cost him a good chunk of time.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch. That sucks. But that's good for Andy, as he goes on a quest to check the left side of Swamp. If there, of course, ends up being something useful over here, like a Samaria or an Ice Rod, then, of course, the lead is going to change drastically over to his side.
Yeah, definitely. And, looking at the stats right now, both of our runners have 4 dungeons completed each, and both are working on their 5th right now, so...
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, very close race, and literally, a mistake like that, it matters. It matters in a race like this.
The interesting thing is, both these players are really, really excellent NMG runners of the vanilla game, and for the most part, Thalane is at the exact, like, I don't know exactly how many hearts he normally have against Helmstar King, but, Master Sword, boots, hammer, arrows, all that stuff. So it almost feels like an NMG fight. But yeah, it's very unfortunate. Probably would have been safer to go for arrows. We'll see if he just goes for 8 arrows this time and plays it a little bit safer.
There's Samaria on the left side of Swamp.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, that is a huge game changer.
Yes, it is.
Man, I've been seeing that Man, there was a Cane of Samaria on left side Swamp I'm pretty sure in the fall tournament, or the spring tournament finals match. Or no, that might have been last year's fall tournament, in that exact same chest. Very popular place to put a Cane of Samaria, but that is going to put Andy significantly... Well, I won't say significantly in the lead. You never know. Thalane could just find his way going back into Swamp at some point. I'm sure he's thinking about... He could even find a hint that a unique item is on the left side Swamp.
That's true, yeah.
It's very possible. I don't know how many hints we have waiting for us. I mean, there's Aga Tower, front of T-Rock. 2 and... Oh, we already saw both in here from Andy's side. The Meyer hint. But that is huge for Andy. And just the luck that he needed to get back into this race.
And here we go. Going to see what the item on Sasharala is with that green pen. It's a bottle of blue potion.
That's a very nice bottle. If you're going to get a bottle, at least get a blue potion.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
That's 160 rupee value right there. Andy now picking up his bow, thinking, dang it, should have gone here first. But I'm sure he's happy he has the boots.
Yes, for sure.
Obviously, what he should have done, all of us would have done it. I mean, 100%, obviously. Go to pod, get the boots, and then just go straight to swamp, because that's what we all should have done, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you look at like the kind of like the spoiler tabs of like a rando seed, that's probably like how the logic would be written down. So yeah.
Oh, like the playthrough section?
Yeah, the playthrough section.
Very little sense most of the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh jeez, he almost died there. I think Argus himself does 3 hearts of damage. And I think the Argai do 2 hearts, maybe? So that was a little dicey. That is one of the worst bosses to die to. And a triple fire out shot. That was a really nice swamp fight.
So now both are up to their 5 dungeons completed mark. Andy just looking for that ice rod. Thalane needing the ice rod, as well as Samaria too. So it's pretty much what this race is boiling down to. You know, if there's still a chance Thalane might go to swamp early, but like if he kind of starts making dips, like if he makes a dip in a mire, for example, like that is going to cost a lot of time.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how Thalane finishes this out. Of course, we are still looking for one more item. We got to find that ice rod somewhere. I could see that being the second item in Mire. And we're probably going to be seeing both desert. This is working out for Andy. He has his Samaria from Swamp, and now he can just immediately go do both Mire and desert and knock them out at the same time. Yeah, what? That's just unfortunate that Canis Smart ended up being on the left side in Swamp Palace, and Thalane skipping it. It's a pretty common spot to skip in tourney races, and just, you know, in races in general. But I'll never forget the words of Christos Owen. He said, "I've seen more races lost to people skipping left side swamp than won."
Right.
And that's a very, very true statement in this race thus far.
Yeah, you really have to be careful when you're skipping items, because it can always be something. In the case of this, there were 2 items left in swamp, so you know that's like you're skipping 2 potential chances for that item you're looking for to be in that area. So it's a huge risk. But on another level, I do understand it as well. Like you have your opponent who's, you know, very, very, very experienced in Link to the Past, winner of the spring tournaments from last year, winner of the SMZ3 tournament that just finished out. You know, you kind of feel like you sometimes have to make those gambles to see if you can get ahead of that small little edge on your opponent.
Yeah, that's the thing though as well. Like you take a couple deaths in a dungeon at a boss, and then you're like, I'm losing time. I need to save some time somehow, so I'm gonna skip this. I'm gonna skip that, and just play the odds. And the worst is when you're doing that, but you're actually still ahead the entire time, and then you end up skipping something and then lose because of that. It's pretty rough. But, you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. Because, I mean, a lot of it is just, you know, there's so much luck in Randomizer, which is what makes it such an exciting event as a viewer. So you're like, you never know when a race is just going to completely flip upside down. And It's fun. It's exciting. I'm having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Chat, are you guys having fun? YouTube, are you having fun? Are you going to have fun when you eventually watch this? Don't answer me. Don't answer right now. Just save it. Save it for later. Now, that left side swamp hint could be sitting in the front of T-Rock. It's a possibility.
Yeah, that would definitely help. That would definitely help to get that hint.
Like, it could literally say, the Cane of Samaria and some cash is on the west wing of Swamp. Like, that would be the perfect place to put it. Right in front of T-Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, game. I guess I'll go do that. But even in that case, like, Andy is currently on a tear, knocking out these dungeons. He's about to go ahead and set himself up right in front of Misery Mire. Of course, this is not an easy fight. He does have 6 hearts, so he could, if he so chooses, do some of the the NMG strats, the D-boost strats to do some damage on the eyeballs, but honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend.
And even if we get a hint that just says there's a unique item on the left side of Swamp, I mean, we're getting pretty close to having all those unique items, so that could very well just okay, well, I don't have the ice rod either. I probably should go back there just to be sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unfortunate not having the Cane of Samaria, which you usually use to knock the hard hat beetles down. And of course, in expert mode, the hookshot doesn't stun enemies at all, which is one of the worst things about it. So,
yeah.
because hookshot is one of my favorite items outside of the boots, and because of its kill power on certain enemies like Moldorans and Popos and stuff like that, as well as its ability to stun the majority of enemies. It's such a good item.
Yeah, its kill power, its stun ability, its range, it's just really, really cool. It's always been one of my favorite Zelda items just in general, so it's a lot of fun to use.
So we did get a hint that Firelock side of Mire did have a bottle, so we already know about one of the items in here. And Andy, just now picking up the big key, is going to go ahead and check the rest of this dungeon. He could go all out and just hope that Vidi has the last item. But I feel like he might be feeling pretty good about... Oh, he didn't get that hint. Where was that hint?
Let's see. That hint was...
In Pod, I think? It was... I think it was in Pod.
No, I think Andy did get that hint, actually. I think that was in Eastern.
Oh, okay. Oh, he wanted the bottle. Now that makes sense. But it's
in
the... Okay.
Yeah, Sick Kid is still on the table, so he definitely should get that bottle.
Yeah. Alright, that makes a lot more sense. And the other item is just 10 arrows. Of course, if Sick Kid does end up having that ice rod, Andy will be getting a bottle, which we know of at Sahasrara. Yeah, that cutscene chest is pretty lengthy, so I don't blame him. He does have to be careful. He's only down, he's down to 3 hearts, but using his lovely powder to get himself up to 4 hearts. I could also see Andy use... I'm curious to see what strat he goes for on this Vidi fight. To be honest, given his health, I would use the whole cape / strats.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, even in extra mode, when magic drains ridiculously fast, if you use the cape but you slash repeatedly and constantly, it reduces how much magic drains or how fast the magic drains, so you can get in a bunch of slashes on the eyeballs to kill him. I like that strat. I also like that Moldorn fight from Thalane. Real clean.
Mm-hmm, very clean, up to 6 dungeons, just like Andy now, although Andy is about to get his 7th here.
I like how all 6 of his dungeons are all next to each other on his tracker. It just looks it looks nice. It's very appealing.
Maybe that's how he'll complete the rest of this, just going
Yeah,
from
just go.
one to the
Peace
each.
out, Ice Palace, Meyer. Whoops, bit of a fall there from Andy. Just negating that heart he got from the Antifairy. That's unfortunate. All right, he does have to be extremely careful because these eyeballs, I think, do 4 hearts of damage.
Yeah, I want to say at this point in the game expects you to have blue mails, so yeah, they do a bunch of damage.
That eyeball just dodged his attack.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
They're evolving.
Dude, they're learning. They've seen enough rando. It's one of my favorites when like someone's playing as the Vitreous eyeball sprite and fighting Vitreous.
Yeah.
Jeez! Oh my god!
How?
Stop!
How?
Oh my gosh! I can't take it. That was way too risky,
though.
man. I don't agree with those strats. It's too risky. But he takes him down. Oh, Andy, why you gotta do this, man? There were so many times where he could have got beat out by an eyeball before his arrow came out. What a bad man.
Okay, let's see this item that Andy actually did not get to pick up earlier.
No. The bug net.
Oh, I was hoping for that to be the ice run.
Yeah, that would have turned this race around a little bit. Because, like, if Ice Rod is in T-Rock and it's the last dungeon you have to do, you might be inclined to go ahead and check a few more overworld spots on the way. Like, we have...
Right.
Well, Pyramid Fairy's dead anyway. Actually, how many overworld spots do we even have left at this point?
That's a good question.
I don't think we've seen Catfish. I don't think we've been to... Have we been to Zora?
I don't think we've been to... I know we checked a Hobo at one point, but we didn't check...
Yeah.
I don't think we checked Zora.
Have we been to Hyrule Castle?
No. The back, yeah, but not Hyrule Castle.
Inverted and silly. Man, it's everybody's favorite Go Mode item. The Ice Rod. Wow, how exciting.
You know, we still haven't checked what's going to be on, like, the very first item we got in this seed, the mushroom.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That would be hilarious. The thing is, the Witch's Hut is such a pain to get to in inverted mode.
Yeah.
Because, of course, you can't flute to it. You'd have to, like, go to the Light World. You'd either have to go to, like, Village of Outcast or the Swamp Warp and run all the way up to the Witch... Well, you could go to the Swamp Warp and then use the portal. That'd probably be the fastest way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Use the Whirlpool right below it.
Yeah, that would more than likely would be the fastest way to it.
Hey, chat, where do you guys think that Ice Rod is going to be? Slim, where do you want it to be? Where would you? Where's your dream Ice Rod location?
Honestly,
don't say. Well, we already saw the pedestal. Okay. Never mind.
Like, well, yeah, I knew it was not going to be a pedestal, but after saying it, after realizing it, I kind of want to see it on the Witch's Hut, just because we've had that mushroom the entire game, and that could have been available.
Thalane now switching to his bug net. He's gonna go catch a squirrel. As if this was the Game Boy Advance versions. Isn't that like part of the... There's like a quest line to get into the Forest Swords dungeon or whatever?
I think so, yeah.
There's like you have to catch a squirrel with a bug net or something. I remember that.
I feel like I've heard that before, yeah.
Oh, there is also that shovel that we got. That could be something.
That's true.
I don't even need to talk about that Armos fight because it was over so quick. It was nice.
Yeah.
You did it right. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
You're down to 1 arrow though, so you're gonna need to get some more here in pod. So what's it gonna be, Thalane? He's probably gonna mirror and finish Thieves down now. I can't imagine him like going to the big chest at all in here. He's gonna go straight to blind, and then he might go finish ice next.
I think we've seen all the. He'll get the last item from blind anyway, and we don't have a small key. That small key's I think
Oh,
locked
yeah.
behind itself.
Duh. Good point. I'm dumb. Whoops. Yeah, here's the thing, though, for Thalane. I can't imagine him ever going back to left side swamp.
Yeah, it's going to be at a point where he starts, kind of... I don't really want to say getting desperate, but, definitely when it's, one of the last things he has remaining. He still has dungeons he can check, and might be focused on those.
See, that's exactly why sword beams are really annoying when you try and do blind up close, because, he hit blind, but didn't, get any knockback. That would usually, knock you back and set you in, a good position to get another hit in. You just stand there, and then you're like, oh, I gotta run away now.
Yeah.
But yeah, for those just joining, we are looking for the ice rod. We don't know where it is. It could be in the front of T-Rock.
Yeah.
It could be in the Zora catfish area. We haven't seen that area yet.
Could be in Hyrule Castle.
Could be in Hyrule Castle. Could be at our uncle. Could have been holding that ice rod the whole time.
Or could be on Sick Hit. No.
That would have been nice. As for Thalane, he needs to go back to left side swamp to get his Cane of Samaria. And he's right there. If I were him, I would never go back to swamp. But let's hope he's not me and goes right back to swamp right after this. I mean, he's already in the light world. It's doable. There's
Another
a potion
bottle.
there. Oh, this is interesting. He's not floating away, but he might go up to Hyrule Castle next. Go south. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Hyrule Castle is going to be the play here.
I mean, it's a smarter play
Mm-hmm.
for him in this current situation. When you bail out on Swamp, with 2 items left, there's no reason to ever go back. Ever. You're just hoping you're like, if it's there, I already lost. That's usually the thought process. It wasn't on Uncle. Is it in the other chest? Nope. Dude, if the hint in the front of T-Rock is the swamp hint, in fact, that would be hilarious. That'd be the perfect hint. We haven't seen that hint yet, because it's just hints. You never know. It could be another joke hint, so it's understandable to not waste your time opening up T-Rock when you don't have Samaria yet.
Yeah, for sure. You might not care that there's money in the banana stand. You just don't really care about that.
Just do not care. Just a heart piece in the front. Did we get a map already for
the map was in the sanctuary chest, I believe.
Okay. So there's at least a small key left and 2 more items.
Yeah, because we haven't seen the dark room, which could be money. We did see a hint, but there's, I think, also money in pod, too.
Some cash in the dark. There's some more cash right there. Andy making his way through the turtle room, through pod, running right into that turtle. He, if I were him, I would have picked up that heart. Because right now, he's 2 hits from death. Because everything that Helmstar does 2 hearts of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I expect him to take 0 damage on this boss, but if he goes for hammer pokes, it can be a little tricky, and he doesn't have enough arrows to do just 8 arrows, so...
Ooh, just bombs, which means that dark room chest is just a small key. He is out of there. Ooh, Andy.
Jeez. All right, he's good. He's fine. That was scary, though. Despite getting hit, he got into the right position, right in the middle of the fireballs to not get hit again, so that worked out for him.
Mm-hmm.
Still really scary, and a unique item on Helmstar. Thanks for the single arrow. Nothing on the pyramid. All these overworld checks. Where is this ice rod gonna be?
He is going to the witch's shop and probably the Zora area right after, so we will get that information. We were wondering.
Andy about to pick up his first bottle? I guess
Yep.
so, yeah.
Yeah, he did not pick up the Misery Mire one, so...
Yeah, and he hasn't checked Shovel, which was the other one. So we know of 3 bottles so far.
What does the Witch's Hut have for us today? It is just 50 rupees.
Dude, they could have had 50 rupees so early.
I know, right?
But look at their cash. They would need it. That's so much money. Alright, where is Andy off to now? All he needs to do is find his ice rod. Well, we all need to find this ice rod. So it looks like he's going to be meeting up with Thalane halfway. Go do some Zora checks. Big 20! 3 bombs! I don't even think we've seen, like, even Ice Rod Cave.
Thalane did do Ice Rod Cave.
Okay, well, I mean from Andy then, because
Yeah.
he's done.
Not Zora Ledge either.
Did Thalane already do Catfish, or did he just not mirror to check it? That's an easy one to miss if you're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
Zora has!
Oh gosh.
And now Thalane has to grudgingly walk all the way back to go check this.
Okay,
That's unfortunate. So where is this dang ice rod?
Yeah, the more things we check off, though, it's making it even more likely that it's in the front of Turtle Rock, which will definitely help out Andy.
This still ends up being an ice rod T-Rock. I'm outie. I'm done. Alright,
Okay.
Catfish, what do you got, baby? Is this our go mode? Or no mode? Or whatever? Catfish is holding on to some bombs. Oh my gosh. And Andy setting up the water walk from Ice Rod Cave. Allow him to run up and check. Yeah, go see what's on Highlight Island. Alright, he didn't run into the shallow water. He's gonna go up and check Hobo. Yeah, it's gotta be frustrating. Check all that overworld. He's probably thinking, oh man, you know, my items I need are just gonna end up being an Ice Palace. I should have just gone straight here.
Mm-hmm.
But,
we know what that last item is in here, and it's the powder, so...
well, I'm curious to see. I'm assuming Andy's gonna go ahead and do literally everything that Thalane just did.
Yeah, I imagine so.
What do we have? Will he check Hyrule Castle, though, before going back to T-Rock? Because I'm sure that Chain Chomp chest is on his mind right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he does have the access to the front. You know, if Andy wanted to, he could, if he went to go check Ice Rock Cave, he could mirror and see what the hint is. And
Ooh. Yeah, that could be a possibility.
It could be useful. The Ice Rod requires Canis Amari. Just like that. Easy game. Another mirror bonk. Unfortunate. Just a couple seconds lost.
And at this point, like, just knowing that, you know, Turtle Rock is a crystal, we know that we can't have a Ice Rod in Ganon's Tower scenario, so...
Thankfully.
That's at least a little comforting, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure these runners, especially after their game 1, which was a bit of a doozy when it comes to double dips and GT required go mode and stuff like that. Of course, that's a lot easier to happen when it's all dungeons key sanity, which is the worst mode in existence. I'm sorry, it's not the worst mode. It's okay.
Yeah, I personally like Key Sanity, but you have to be in the mindset where if you're playing Key Sanity, you gotta be ready for double dips and all kinds of just very awkward routing. That's just the way that mode can be.
Let me just say, I'm a big. Key Sanity has surprisingly grown on me a lot in Journey, where I'm actually willing to pick it, which is weird. But Key Sanity all dungeons, when Castle Tower Key is like 90% your go mode item, and it's like at the top of GT, it's just the worst, man. It doesn't feel good at all.
Yeah, definitely not.
You leave Retro alone. Retro was silly. I had fun. It was a fun scene. All right, wow. Will Andy get his $50? Because Thalane is leading in the rupee count right now, and that's that's like extra points when we tally up the final scores.
Yep, true fact. We don't actually do that, guys.
Well, Andy tactically won the race, but Thalane had more cash, so he's rewarded 50 meme points. Whoa, that was weird. I don't think Andy has actually checked any of. Has he checked? I don't know if he's done like Bonk Rock's back of escape or anything like. No, he hasn't because he doesn't have Ether, which I think was in the back of escape.
That's right. Yep. Ether was back of escape. So,
which we still haven't seen what medallion is required for T-Rock. So we don't even know if it's needed.
And of course, like Andy can still get there like without needing that because he can go through the back way. But it's just so much faster to just go.
And you can save a key doing it too. All right, let's see this cold stare fright from the lady using that Bombos medallion to crack open that ice, forcibly whiffing one of the fire rod shots, which you want to conserve as much magic as you can on this boss. But Master Sword is going to make this fight a little bit easier, and he does have a good amount of health. He could take a cold stare hug, as well as at least one icicle to the face. Playing it slow, playing it patient, I agree. And he does take down a cold stare, and will have acquired his eighth dungeon. his 8th pendant. So what are we going to see next, Thalane? You've already been into T-Rock as much as you can.
I feel like this is going to be Meyer.
Oh, there goes his shield. See ya.
Goodbye. Yeah, he is making the Meyer play here, so he is gonna, unfortunately, gonna have to double dip this one.
Yeah, it's a pity. I mean, I'm assuming he did get the hint about Firelocked Meyer, so he knows one of the items already in here, so once he gets the other one, he can bail out.
I just realized we're in a position where we could go to Turtle Rock, and, we might find, like, Titan's Mitts for King's Tomb Ice Rod, for all we know.
Oh, man. Sounds like a good time. What are the odds? I've been saying that, like, throughout all of top 32. And it's like a curse. You should never say that out loud or think that to yourself. Every time it's like, well, good odds, apparently. Every time. Of course, the second item was 10 arrows, and it was in the main lobby chest, where you have to hit the switch first and then go back. And this is the T-Rock play. So Andy is skipping out of Hyrule Castle Uncle in favor of going to T-Rock. So, of course, this is going to work out for him. It's one of those things where it's like, I could full clear everything and then go to T-Rock, but it'd be so much more convenient if Ice Rod was here.
Yeah, exactly.
We've seen this, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, because I remember Thalane reading the hint in there.
T-Rock entrance ends up being like Ether, then Andy's routing of checking the back of escape at least is going to work out for him.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Ooh, and I think thalane, I mean, he could be checking the hint for all we know, but seems like he is going back here, so... May have forgotten the hint about what's in Firelock Mire here.
Or maybe he wants this hint.
Yep, that's what I'm
And a
guessing
potion.
anyway. That's true, yeah, it could be a potion.
Alright, and Andy's gonna go ahead and continue his trek backwards to this dungeon, which makes sense, you know, because then he can just mirror back to the big chest and check the big chest. Because he needs to go back to the front anyway to get the... Oh, that was the big chest hint.
Close.
So close.
But now he knows there are 2 items in the left side, so... Or at least I hope he knows that, so after this, he's like, okay, I better go back.
Yeah, unfortunately, even if he was to go right back, it's a little bit too late.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little bit too behind. And he trying very hard to get his bug net. Managed to get through without taking a insta-death, because of course they deal 4 hearts of damage.
Yep.
Oh, jeez. That pokey butt.
Mm-hmm.
Try to take him down. Alright, 3 items up here. The worst case, dude, is in inverted when the big key is like in that one roller chest, and you have to like mirror and laser bridge and then work your way backwards through the platform. There's our ice rod. As expected. So Kane and Samaria from left side swamp. So if thalane had Samaria already, he would have been able to get that the first time he went to T-Rock, because I believe he went to T-Rock after doing swamp. But yeah, at 1 hour 32 minutes, roughly, Andy is our first player in go mode.
Yep, and he's going to pick up the big key here and just mirror back, finish Turtle Rock, and then...
Assuming he doesn't die to a roller, which I doubt he'll do. Just going to use these. Gonna play cool, man.
And it's also pretty interesting, especially in inverted mode here.
Okay.
Ooh, really nice.
Oh, it's in that chest. It's in the stupid laser. Ah, what a great game. So he has to drop down, go all the way around, drop down again. See, that's why I still say that they should just move the Dark World connector bridge between the 2 T-Rock entrances outside to the Light World. So then Spiral Cave and Mimic Cave are connected. So you can go over there, drop down, do Mimic Cave if you can, and then you can walk over and do Spiral Cave immediately afterwards instead of having to Mimic, drop down, go up, drop down, Spiral, drop down, go up. And then just add like another drop down on that path to get to Laser Bridge as well. It's so easy.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. I like that.
Somebody make it happen. Somebody pay the devs. Oh, jeez. All right. Half heart hero. You might just death warp to get us to just, get back to the beginning without having... I don't know. I mean, like, the Trinex fight isn't too hard going in with minimal health. But, just that safety of having a little extra health is nice. Oh, we haven't seen Spike Cave either.
That's true. We have not.
Bingo. And the death.
Yeah.
How convenient. It was right there. And unfortunately, just a big 20 for Spike Caves. So at this point, thalane has literally nothing left except for left side swamp, I'm pretty sure. And this this never feels good because you're behind. Especially for how early he went to swamp. This race could have been completely different, potentially, if he had just full cleared swamp.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said earlier, if thalane had that cane, and he was in Turtle Rock earlier, he could have just picked up the Ice Rod when he was going through it and could have been in go mode, like, geez, at least 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Not longer.
That's Randomizer for you, though.
Yep,
you gotta sometimes make those plays to make up for lost time earlier.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, it looked like it was working for a large part of the seed, just until we found out where Samaria was.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like, I'm sure Andy checked left side, probably also because he might have been feeling behind after doing the Eastern dip. And then just, well, no, he checked left side swamp before Bo, so it's a tough skip. I mean, left side swamp is a huge time sink. It's like what, 2 minutes in general, like generally?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, Andy, nice Trinex fight. Really, well, Trinex is one of my favorite fights. I really enjoy using hammer strats on Trinex. Or if I have Gold Sword, doing like 0 cycle backdoor. It's just too fun. But with that, Andy has all of his dungeons completed. He'll be heading over to Ganon's Tower. And of course, we have to ask you all a very important question. What do you think that big key gonna be?
Well, before we that, I mean, he's probably gonna do Aga Tower first.
All right, this is inverted. With that, I'm gonna go get some coffee.
Okay, so yeah, Andy is going to be doing this dungeon first. This will put him right in front of the Ganon's Tower entrance. So, in inverted mode, it makes a little more sense, especially in all dungeons, to, do this first, then do Ganon's Tower, because, yeah, you're right there once you're done with it. So, that's what we're going to be seeing here. But in the meantime, I guess we can just kind of guess like how many blue energy ball attacks will we be seeing from Agahnim here. And here we go, Thalane picking up his can of Samaria. Gonna also check the other chest because he is still looking for Ice Rod and figured that, oh, it could be here. But it's a blue rupee, and he is mirroring out. And yeah, it looks like he is actually going to be going back to Turtle Rock now. Gonna hold off Meyer from now. I think at this point he just wants to kind of be in go mode, just so he can just kind of get things moving. But I mean, this makes sense too. He'll be able to complete Turtle Rock. He'll complete Aga Tower right afterwards, and all he can do at that point is like he can just save and quits, and then just kind of go to Meyer, and then do a save and quit from Meyer once he's finished, and be right in front of the hole, ready to fight Ganon. So this routing makes sense.
All right, I'm back. Did they find the big key yet?
No, because we're still in Aga Tower.
Cool. Wait. Can we ask the question now?
I mean, I want to say
balls?
Yes, we'll ask that.
That's
question.
what I was going for.
I'm gonna be boring and guess 3 because that's the most
so
likely.
Boring.
I don't care.
It's like you have like a large, very high chance of being correct.
That's why I picked it.
That's so. 15. I see a couple of 15s in chat. 22. That's a lot of.
I don't think that's possible.
Game's broke.
Anyway, there is the Ice Rod for Thalane. He is officially now in go mode as well.
Yeah, only 7 minutes later, but unfortunately also a dungeon behind.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a good chunk of time to spend in GT if it like ends up being on like Tile Room or something, but this is it's gonna be really tough if Thalane wants to keep this or bring this back. Like it's almost like, you know how like they always have like a little percent scale, like chance of win, like chance of victory. It's like a little graph, like a little line graph. And then you see like the, one team's at 100%, and then all of a sudden it drops down to 0, and the other team's at 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening, but you never know. Yeah, he still has to finish all of T-Rock, and he's learning now that he has to do that stupid way of getting the big key. And when I say stupid, I mean interesting. All right, small key on the right side, so Andy going to go ahead and check the 4 chest on the right side, skipping tile room, because that's what everyone does. Does he have enough time?
I don't know. I don't think so. Okay, he does.
Wow. That's a lot of time.
And I've had that door close on top of me before, so it's like, yeah.
$300. A piece of heart. A bloopy. A second bloopy. So I noticed, unfortunately for Thalane, because of his route into T-Rock, he had to actually go all the way back around to go to the light world just so he can mirror into the back.
Yeah.
If he had mitts, he could have done it the other way, but at this point, mitts are in GT somewhere.
Yeah, pretty much. Will we even see the mitts? We'll have to find out where that big key is, I guess.
Yeah. I don't anticipate either of these players picking up any extra chests along the way. When you have a couple potions, it's sitting at 7 hearts is actually quite nice for expert mode.
Yeah, really.
There's another potion.
Yeah, we found all 4 bottles.
Another small key. And the big key!
There it is.
That's gonna do it.
Sorry, Mitts. I'm not gonna find you this time.
It's just a quick run up the gauntlet for Andy. Master Sword in hand. He's got plenty of resources, 30 arrows, 29 now. It would take a miracle for this lead to change. So, that's just so unfortunate, man, that it just came down to skipping one thing, really. But that's how it goes. But at this rate, Andy's going to be sitting at a nice, comfy 2-0.
Yeah, making him 1 game away from being a 2-time champion.
And as a viewer, that's bad. We don't want that, guys, right? We want a game 5, right? I know I do. I don't want this tourney. I want this tourney to continue into 2020. It should never stop.
Well, this is the fall tourney, letting it go on till fall. Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. As chat's pointing out, he did also win the SMZ3 tournament as well. But, I was talking purely in terms of just playing like the pass randomizer, not the combo as well. But he has that claim to fame too.
Wow, what a nerd. Who wins tourneys?
Yeah, really.
Jeez. What's this guy do? Play video games for a living? It's pretty cool if he does.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I don't know much about this Andy guy, but he's pretty good at this video game.
Yeah.
Bit unfortunate with that left. Landmole is hopping straight left, not allowing him to get a second shot. And playing a little slow in second phase with the hammer strats, but takes down Tranix. And then he'll be heading over to do Aga 2, or Aga 1, excuse me. And then Meyer to Ganon, or Meyer to GT. A bit of an interesting route. Unfortunately, not working for him. It probably would have made more sense to go do Meyer first, but he's probably already feeling like he has 0 chance of winning, so I guess it didn't really matter to him too much. Oh yeah, that is a good point. Thalane was the winner of the There was I believe it was the German tournament.
Yep.
A Link to the Past tournament.
Yeah, that is true. He did actually win that.
And he did. There was like a best of 5 set between the German and French tourneys. Winners. It was him versus Bonta that he also won. So, you know, don't be sleeping on the lane.
Yeah, I mean, really. And also, I did some research before this, and, you know, Andy and Thalane actually had a matchup in the top 32 of the spring tourney. And that game went to game 3. It went to its final game. So, you know, he's capable of taking matches off Andy.
I remember watching that race because I think Thalane won game 1 and then was just about to win game 2. But it came down to a different of GT routing. I'm not even acknowledging that.
Okay, that's fair.
Nice hover. I'm more excited about this bumper. Let's go. I love when that happens. I have no idea why it happens, but I love it.
Okay, so here we have Aga 2. Why do they call it Aga 2? There's 3 Agas. I see 3 Agas on screen.
I'm seeing 4 Agas.
I'm seeing double here. 4 Agas.
Looking like... that blue ball getting in the way. Dang it, Aga.
Ooh.
Nice double. Could have been a triple. Unfortunately, getting not the best angle on the first hit, but making up for it anyway. And that's going to do it for Aga 2. And G-Tower tossing some bombs saying, hey, you did.
Oh, wow, yeah. Making sure he is down for the count.
Jeez. Calm down, Andy. Watch out! Dude, that was like a smoke screen. Like you throw the smoke bomb on the ground and then you're gone.
Yeah, like the Deku nuts in Ocarina of Time whenever Sheik vanishes away.
All right, well, Andy, now hour and 47 minutes into the Ganon fight. We got the Master Sword, so it's going to be several Master Sword spins. Getting the double right off the Trident. Sitting at 4, that's 5. This is a very patient fight when you only have Master Sword. Fortunately, both players do have the silver arrows. So it'll make phase 4 significantly easier than having to do more spins.
Yeah, once you get to that phase 3, you should feel very, very comfortable with the rest of the fight. So just got to be patient through those first 2 phases and you're fine.
And he managed to get here without taking too much damage, so he could take a fire bat if he needs to, like that. I guess he needed to.
Does make it to phase 3 though, so he is in the home stretch here.
Yeah, and the remaining attacks will only do 2 hearts, so even if he gets hit by another fire bat, he'll still live it. Phase 3 happening right now. Not many Ganon warps. Can we get a few more? Yeah, there we go. One more. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, really, really good Ganon fight thus far. I did get the silvers. Thanks. Ooh, a little late on that one. Gotta be careful here. Last thing you want to do is light the torch and have Ganon's, like, park right on top of your head.
There's one.
3 more to go. Oh, that's gonna be a triple right there. Oh,
got him.
Beautiful fight. What a great run by Andy.
I thought the lane was kind of mimicking Aghanim's spins right there.
Yeah, it's hard not to do that. But GG's to Andy. He's going to go up 2-0 in this best of 5 set versus Thalane for the championship title of the fall 2018 tournament. Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. Let's get... Oh, you guys already got your GG's in chat, but congratulations, man. It's not easy.
It's not, especially when you consider the pure volume of number of matches you have to play for this tournament. And, you know, we mentioned he was also in the SMZ3 tournament as well, so that's like even more randomizer on top of randomizer. So, you know, it's easy to get randoed out, so to speak. So, kudos to him on finishing.
And especially with, like, you know, SMZ3 being generally on average like 3 hours.
Right.
And then these with the harder difficulties are on average like an hour 50 to 2 hours. That's a lot of video. That's a lot of rando, man. Yeah, really good race. That was a good race. I can't believe it came down to the left side Swamp Palace. Yeah, looking forward to whatever game 3 is. So let's get this pug in here. Oh, he's already in here. Hey, buddy.
Yep.
GG's, bud. Andy, we can't hear you. You're lighting up. You lighten up my life, but I cannot hear you. Just give him a second. He's a little shy. In the meantime, Thalane is making his way through Misery Mire. I'm excited to see this Vitreous fight. It looks like he is gonna go ahead and finish out this race. Nice spooky right there. That was good. Even with the dash too. We still can't hear you, Andy, if you're talking. Try restarting Discord. That new mixer he got, I guess. New fancy mixer. Willard Bean. Alright. Now Thalane does have a little bit of health to spare, so he can even take an eyeball to the face. Oh, there's one. He's down to 2 hearts. Come on, you got this, Thalane. The scary thing about this, though, is that you are at the will of the RNG gods in the fight, because there is a very slight chance that Vitreous will just do exactly that.
Yeah.
He'll shoot a lightning bolt right at the edge of the wall, and you just never see that coming. That is unfortunate. And it appears that Thalane has forfeited from the match. Do not blame him. Nobody wants to fight Vitreous a second time.
Yeah, especially when you also know that there's just, like, you have another dungeon to complete on top of that. So, you still got a little ways to go. But, kudos for giving it a shot at least. And, yeah. For
give
a
it
good
up.
run.
Let's give it up to Thalane. That's, I can't imagine trying to, make a comeback after that unfortunate skip that didn't work out for him. But, what a wild race. What a good one. Inverted is a very interesting mode. I'm excited to see what Game 3 is between these two, and I'm really excited for Andy to start talking whenever that happens.
Well, we do have, Thalane in here now, so we could also talk to him, I suppose.
Hey.
Hey. So, let's hear it.
What do you want to hear?
I want to hear your thoughts on Expert Inverted in general.
I don't think it's a bad mode. Like, I like it. It just didn't work out very well this time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened in Thieves Town, to be honest. Like, both deaths were like not excusable, I think. And
getting sniped right in front of the Baden cell was it was very unfortunate. Not really going to predict that happening. Though sometimes those guys do like to just, start charging towards you, shooting up the middle, which is silly, but yeah, that was unfortunate.
I thought about picking up another heart, like in that, what is that? Like the, that room before you go downstairs, right? The bottom left
conveyor belt with the hole in the middle?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. I felt really bad when that dude sniped me, and I was like, dude, I would have survived that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then blind, I don't know, I just blacked out of the first phase, so I didn't really know like what to do, and then it went off rails. So
the Helma death was another huge time loss as well.
Although that was
the
kind of
triple. Dude, the triple was insane. I wasn't expecting that to happen.
Yeah, neither was I. Like he just went overboard with that. Like I just died within 2 seconds. That was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Because you went for the hammer poke, got punched by his face, and then fireball. Yeah. Yo,
am I alive finally?
Yeah,
Yes.
I hear your beautiful voice.
My computer
Congratulations.
restarting while I was asleep messed everything up.
How dare you? Why would you do that?
I know.
Why would you
Heckin-
disrespect us like that?
Heckin' Windows 10.
Nah,
Somebody
no.
email Microsoft.
But yeah, I think just to finalize my thoughts, other than that, I think it was okay. Just that left side swamp didn't really work out. I think if I checked that, I might have been able to still win, maybe like even close.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Well, you had boots for like 30 minutes. That was that helped a lot. And if you had Kane the first time you went up to T-Rock, you probably would have had Ice Rod then as well.
Yeah.
Assuming the keys worked out that you could have continued going backwards through Chain Chomps, you would have had it. So it would have been a very, very different race for sure. But,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I just thought we had so much stuff to check. So left side swamp wasn't really, like worth my time when it's only 2 items away. At that point, I think maybe 3. I think Bo was in the back, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I thought about like going back into swamp, but then if it was we got the big key, so if I got compass somewhere in the back, I would have gone back for like 3 items, 100%. But since it was only 2 items, I thought, you know what, let's just check all the green stuff on my map that's like available all over the world. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We were waiting for that swamp left side hint to show up, and then you got one for the big chest. I was like, that's close. Not close enough. Yeah, it was a very interesting start. Especially with like the fire rod leading to the hammer, both you guys going to Ice Palace and getting Moon Pearl, but Andy having the hammer, so we got the powder on the right side, and then Andy just finishing off Cold Stare with Fire Sword was pretty wild. It was a good fight. Yeah, definitely worth watching this one back. Yeah, GG's Andy, welcome, congratulations.
I did not feel good about this one. I felt really good early, and then really bad when boots were the first chest in Palace of Darkness.
Yeah. I'm sure you were thinking about that unique item in pod hint for a while.
Yeah, and like it didn't have to be something good. It could have been like the shovel or the mushroom. I had a ton of stuff still to get at that point, so I was hoping it wasn't the bow, basically. And then I don't know. Overall, my route was just not super great. Like the decisions I made, getting Mirror and Kakariko, and I just kind of I didn't know how to do things because that changed everything.
Yeah. I saw you go back into Lost Woods. You're like, oh yeah, I can just go kill Moth now. I forgot.
Yeah. And then so I left all of the North Light World stuff, and then took Purple Chest to go check all the desert stuff because I just gotten booked too, and I was like, maybe something will be good here. This will tell me if desert's boot locked or not. I'll also get to check Meyer Medallion, see if I need to find something. And that was 100% a bust. There's nothing good in desert area or Meyer area, and desert was boot locked. And so
your routing really started to pick up once you finally got the boots and finally went to swamp. Of course, you did an eastern dip where we knew where the bow was. So I don't remember was it eastern that had the Meyer fire locked hint.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Yeah, it had the bottle.
But yeah, once you did swamp, then you're like, oh well, I have boots and Samaria. Let me just go to eastern or desert and Meyer. So getting all that done. By the way, that Vitreous fight was stupid. You should have died like 3 times.
No, it was fine.
Yeah, you're right. I should never have.
There was like one part where I was like, oh god, this was too close. I need to calm down a little bit. But
my favorite was you went in for a spin, and right as you went for a spin, one of the eyeballs just backed up, nah, not touching me. That was great. But yeah, from there, everything kind of just started to work out routing wise, and then of course, it just came down to everyone's favorite Ice Rod, which ended up, of course, being in T-Rock. Classic.
Yeah, so after Swamp, if there wasn't much there, I was gonna do the whole South Loop into Zora and Catfish, and then finish off the Light Worlds, the North Light World stuff I didn't do. And then ended up doing that after Eastern or Pod or whatever. And then at that point, it was like Front of Escape, go check, Turtle Rock, can just go do Agahnim to go do Front of Escape. So I was like, I'll just do Turtle Rock if it's in there. That's a pretty nice time save. And if it's not, I can just get a quick Aga to Front of Escape.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could have done Aga sooner as well to like route in escape, but when you have completable dungeons to do, it makes more sense to just keep on knocking those out.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, just my early game route just did not pay off at all. Everything was garbage. This was like the least light world or overworld heavy inverted seed I think I've ever seen.
I mean, Kakariko had some good stuff.
And that's it.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, like, Skullwoods and Ice and Thieves were all, and Pod were all pretty, and Swamp were all pretty, were all pretty insane. T-Rod.
Yeah, it was pretty much just Kakariko in the light world, and then like Fire Rod in Sea House, and I think everything else was in a dungeon pretty much. And I guess a sword in Lost Woods.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, Inverted has some very interesting fill logics, in my opinion, compared to like the normal. Maybe it's just like bias or whatever. I don't know. Either it's like really super overworld intense, or you get something crazy like this, and I'm like, this doesn't feel like inverted.
Yeah. You also got a nice logic bug today. That was fun.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yes.
You're like,
good.
wait, Cape can't be there. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, when I saw Cape, I think I'd already known where Burna was, and I was like, huh, this is neat.
Yeah, and you did that without even having the boots. You had to like walk through all the lasers, which went really well. But yeah, gotta get them devs on that real quick.
I went to go let them know after I finished, and they had already been let know. So
nice.
Okay, that's efficient. Yeah.
But yeah, GG's to both you guys. Game 3 is
tomorrow.
Who's picking
tomorrow?
Is it already scheduled?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
tomorrow,
man.
Same time, same place, probably. It will be same as a little different than Willard and I's Game 3. All dungeons, open mode, Randomizer, hard mode.
That's so baby.
Yeah, but hookshot stun is a lot more useful.
Boo-hoo. I look forward to watching it. Yeah, really good race. GG's both you guys. Slim, you got any questions for him? I kind of hogged this interview.
Oh, no problem at all. I don't mind. I know that you had another question about a specific heart piece that Thalane may have skipped or something really early on in the seed.
Oh, yeah. Thalane, why'd you skip that heart piece in Peg Cave?
Yeah, I don't know. I went out and then I thought maybe I should have picked that up, but now I'm out, so whatever. And then I went on.
Okay,
I know if it would have saved me maybe at Helm or something. I have no idea how many heart pieces I had at that point.
No idea.
Yeah, like I was already outside and then thought, okay, I'm not going back in. It's whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough. All right, yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, honestly, you covered it all, and no problem at all. Best of luck to both of you on your Game 3. It's been really fun watching you both play against each other, and just throughout the entire tournament as well. And look forward to seeing the rest of the series. It should be fun. Okay, so I guess with that, guess we're going to probably start closing things up here. So, thanks again to both our runners, Andy and Thalane, for putting on an amazing show today. Like we said, Game 3 will be tomorrow. Could be the finale, but it could also be a continuation. We'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Tomorrow, 3:30, same time. We'll see if it's the same channel. Most likely will be, but can't say that for certain. I want to give a huge thank you to Long Road Gaming for being our tracker for this race, keeping all those items selected in those bottom sections. And of course, thank you to my co-com Willard J. Bradley. It was fun commentating this with you and had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a great time. Thanks, man. And thank you all out there for watching. And of course, to Speed Gaming for hosting these races on their fantastic channel. Thank you guys so much. Looking forward to Game 3 tomorrow. And of course, plenty of more just video game action going on across the Speed Gaming network. So make sure to follow these channels and check them out. Tons of other games outside of just Link to the Past Rando. And always new tournaments popping up here and there, and they're a treat to watch. So it's going to do it. We'll see you guys later.
See you guys next time.